My name is Jeffrey Hamельmana. I'm a baker, and I'll be coming to Russia in September to teach some baking classes. I've been asked to just give a couple of thoughts about baking, some of the impressions I've had over the years. I started baking in 1976, and it's been my profession ever since. Prior to that, I had had many jobs. None was particularly fulfilling, except when I farmed for a couple of years. That was very rewarding work, but I found that it was too challenging to make enough money, so I left that and became a baker. One of the things that I have always loved about the baking profession is that it engages not just our bodies, but also our minds. And this, for me, is the best blend, so that I'm not just sitting looking at a computer screen all day. I'm actively moving, I'm actively doing manual things, and at the same time my mind is engaged, usually on much more than just one thing at a time. That's a very appealing part of baking to me, and something else that's highly appealing to me is the fact that bakers provide both nourishment and pleasure to their community. And if you made a list of all the jobs in the world that provide both nourishment and pleasure, it would be a really short list, and baking would be right near the top of that list. When I come to Russia, I'll be bringing with me a rye sourdough culture that I made in August of 1980 when I was leaving my first job. Of course, we'll use this to make breads, but I also plan to show students how you can dry a culture so that you can sort of preserve its DNA and also perpetuate it in case you have to not use it for a couple of months or so. One question that I was asked was about the difference between building and maintaining one's own sourdough culture or buying commercially made sourdough culture. My personal experience and my personal opinion is that I have a very big preference for perpetuating my own culture, and that's for at least a couple of reasons. The first one being, if we keep our culture in good health, that is, we give it a good steady feeding regimen with good flour and good water and good attention to time and temperature, our sourdough will last for many years. As I said, the culture I'll be bringing in September was made in 1980, so it will have just had its 38th birthday. If we don't maintain it, then of course we can only expect that its quality will deteriorate, and we might find that it's losing its leavening ability, or it's not providing the depth and range of flavors that we wish. So keeping one's own is, we presuppose that it's going to be maintained by the baker. If you buy commercial sourdough, one might say, well, this is preferable because I don't have to do the work. I just open up the plastic bag and put it in the mixer, and maybe it's going to be much more absolutely the same month in and month out, year in and year out. That doesn't particularly appeal to me. I've always loved the idea that there are subtle changes in the quality of the breads made with sourdough as the seasons come and go. This isn't something that's alarming. This is something that I like to celebrate. Another reason why I personally love using the sourdough that I've made is the following. Let's say you're a baker and you make 1,000 loaves a week of sourdough bread with your culture. That's not a great production. That's pretty modest, in fact, for a commercial bakery. And let's say you bake 50 weeks of the year. Well, that means that every year you're making 50,000 loaves of sourdough bread with your culture. And now let's say that you've done this for 20 years. Well, you've just made 1 million loaves of bread for your community. The pride that a baker rightfully feels knowing that he or she has made that contribution to society is really immense. It can't be quantified in terms of dollars that you put in the bank, but many things that are great about baking can't be quantified, and this is certainly one of them for me. I must say how very eager I am for this upcoming trip to Russia and the idea of baking with fellow Russian bakers is so exciting for me. And I know that we will not share the same language when we speak to each other, but the best thing of all is that together we will share the eternal language of bread. Thank you.